right, it is very good to have you. Thank you very much for watching Look Up TV. And today I don't want to give a whole, long introduction to this. I know most of you are already waiting for this from 8 a.m. So you're like, hey, Anki, keep the intro short. Either way, I am here as a female journalist. Let me start from that. And I'm very proud to be existing in the year 2022. Women are arising. And I was talking to my panelists behind the cameras, and they said the ones who clinched the ticket did it overwhelmingly. What a word. So today I want to introduce my panelists and my guests, and they are all women, very intentionally about it. We're very intentional about having them as all women today on the panel. One of them being a politician who also clinched a ticket very overwhelmingly. Today she's not talking about her aspirations though, but she's one of them, just showing the success that, that we have women arising in the 2022 politics. Remember, it's all about the voice of the women in 2022 politics. Now, we're not looking at all the many years. We are in 2022. August 9th is here. And I know it is still in the moment where the country is mourning, but we are also celebrating the women who have, decided, during this time, we'll take it a notch higher in this way. So ladies, karibuni sana. I will start with, of course, Muhesh Ng'ang'a. Just, salimia watu, wakaribishe, and probably tell them what to expect during this conversation.
Good morning, Kenyans. Karibuni sana, Look Up TV. Asante Anki. Great to see you all over again. Beautiful as always. My name is Njeri Ng'ang'a. I'm a member of County Assembly aspiring, Ngei Ward, Mathare constituency. That's a very tough area to be competing in. But it is, as you said, it is 2022, and the women are there. And I have my nomination certificate. I'm proud of that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's going to be a very interesting conversation.
All right, guys. She actually started by saying this is going to be a tough race, but I'm up for it. So thank you very much for that, introductory remark. And the one and only, you've been very vocal in standing in for youth policy and advocacy. I'd love to hear your opening remarks. Thank you very much, Marcy, for being part of the conversation. Please say hi to everyone else.
Good morning, Kenyans across the country. My name is Marcy Mutana. I'm a youth advocate and policy analyst. So today I do look forward to, a great dialogue concerning how the just concluded party primaries has gone. It's great to see that women were able, where there was universal suffrage agreed upon, that they were able to contest, and a good number at least made it. Now we just have to wait for the consensus. But I also believe the consensus, we are going to see quite a good number of names across the board. We've seen that party leaders did agree to give direct tickets to women. So indeed the future is female, and we do hope that we can, move up the gender agenda in terms of representation, so that the gender bill, maybe by the time, the elections are over, maybe it won't be needed.
Oh, okay. Maybe by the time the election is over, we won't even need that. And I like that you're saying the gender agenda. Or less
nominations, MCAs, because there are 777. So hopefully that number goes down, but not because we are not important, but because many more would have won, like Ng'ang'a.
Okay, I like that. And I know now you're putting a lot of things into perspective. And I want to come to our, guest, who's not the least, but of course the last to, of course, introduce herself. You're a business lady. In that capacity, I really want to hear your introductory remarks.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Kenya. I thank you, Anki, for the invite. I'm Nancy Wambaire Miruri from Kiambu County, a business lady. And I'm happy to be here today to talk about women in politics and even economically. I want to first congratulate my sister for the nomination. Congrats. And we are looking up to seeing very many women come up. We know we have challenges as women in politics, even in businesses that are dominated by men.
Okay.
So we are looking up to women this time round in 2022. We know we are going to see very many women coming up, and we are praying that we women are going to support our fellow women.
That's something.
Because that has been the problem, and we are looking really forward to that we're going to support our own. Thank you so much.
She's just pointed one of the things that if I started to check on my feedback, it will be, but the women do not even have confidence in fellow women. But I like that she has said, hopefully in 2022, the women arising will be supported by the same women who hope they take these positions. And of course, this has been inspired by the position of Martha Karua. Now, everyone is eyeing, as Azimio is working on getting the running mate of course, Honorable Raila Odinga, that hopefully then, because, Martha has been very vocal, she's been up for this a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, she's actually one of the most sober women we have standing in 2022 now. But the question is, are we seeing her positioned in that place where we are hoping, you know, all women are hoping she's positioned in? Because that would be our first female deputy president, if anything. Mercy, among them, you want to touch? I've just touched on Martha Karua because she's the outstanding one and the top position, you know, eyeing. But other women, you have said, if you look at the statistics now, like Ng'ang'a and others, who are we seeing standing out?
I think when it comes to women being elected, I think when it comes to the parliament, I think the new constitution at first did great because of course it increased position and you know there was a lot of discussion on gender. And actually what I think helped in 2013 before the constitution and after the new constitution is that those who drafted it were very particular, and in the political party structure, you had to have women. For you to get the money of the exchequer, you need to have women. Even ORPP, by the time it was even taking up the party constitutions and, you know, being able to say, okay, your party, because there was a time we were told, before we got to be told that there are 82, out of 83, because one, I think, I don't know what happened with their process, but for them to become 82 registered political parties, they had to align with certain things in the constitution, and I think even the gender representation was very key in the party structures. So when you have the structures in the party having women, and I think across the board we've seen it, UDA has a female SG, so that's where it starts internally. Because those are the decision makers, and we're seeing right now a lot of talk is on consensus. A lot of all parties we are yet to hear, you know, the end. For example, UDA 36 counties, so the remaining still need to be made internal decisions. So, so the UDA to have a female Secretary General, Ms. Veronica Maina, that was one notable thing. KANU is 50-50 in all their structures, so that's also another milestone. ODM on its end, of course, we've seen the Azimio women being very vibrant, of course, with Martha Karua joining that side. We've also seen Honorable Sabina Chege move to the other side, because even in defecting, you know, women are very, it's politically known that women are very cautious. So to see a lot of women being vibrant and coming out in the campaigns, even in UDA, people like Honorable Aisha Juma, of which she has a direct ticket. So such are the characters we're seeing. Kirinyaga, at least we're seeing it's even a battle of two women. That's quite something to note. On Her Excellency Anne Waiguru, and then of course Honorable Purity Ngirishi. So that's quite a contest. We've seen Honorable Martha Wangari retaining her ticket for Gilgil. We've seen one interesting Fonjoro, the lady that won, I think it's Miss Charity. She was able to win with 15,000 margin. So that's quite outstanding. And then of course Kwale, the deputy governor who was female, has been entrusted with the UDA Kwale ticket. So there's a lot across the board. When you go to ODM, we have Millie Odhiambo direct ticket. We have Gladys Wanga being settled on Homa Bay. Is quite it had strongholds, and even the party chairman, you can imagine. So I think indeed when we say the future is female, it's because at least the party structures in the last 10 years, thanks to the constitution, we are seeing women being represented inside. But then now also in terms of candidates, because at least in UDA, at least women rep, again, even young women. So that's where UDA, I think, has really done well. You know, that they sent people to the ground. They did not force consensus, especially even amongst the women. So we have people like Miss Lynette Toto, from Bomet at 24 years. We have Cynthia Muge. I
like when she's called Toto, yeah.
Yeah, it's the interesting nickname in that area for young ladies, like Jaber. So I guess their version is Toto. Yeah. So 27-year-old, you know, clinching Nandi women representative. And then again for Kirinyaga, the same thing, Wakili Maina. So I can say there are great strides. Edith Mwirigi, you know, she's decided to go independent. So I can see there's quite a strength. And I think for us to have women representation at the top, it starts with young women rising. So to see young women clinching the seats, to also see young women being doing great work in the August House, because when just personal analysis of what women have been doing in Parliament for the last of years.
And I want us to come to that after, of course, celebrating those who have, because we also have to check. People have said we women are flower girls. So when you bring us to what women have been doing, the better. So first, let's just get to hear from Honorable Ng'ang'a. Because now she's one of those success stories you have mentioned, those who are picking up. And then, of course, we're going to come back to what women have been doing in Parliament, and then hear from our business lady what then this trickles down to actually empowering women economically, yes? But, of course, those are amazing names you have mentioned. For those who just had Martha Karua and that's all they knew, now they know that there's been several women arising. Honorable, it's been a tough one.
It is.
There's been a lot of primaries going on, a lot of, you know, heckling around, this wasn't fair, this was. How was it for your party? Now you're standing out. What was it like for you being a woman in that race?
For me, it's been easy. My party president, Mr. Walter Mongare, is very intentional about the women agenda in the party. Actually, my secretary general is our lady, Naomi Sidi. And she's very, sorry to say, or proud to say that she's very intentional about the women position. And for me, I've found working with the party a bit easy.
Okay.
Because you see, when the party president is intentional about the women purpose in the party, then it becomes very easy to work. So fortunately, it was a direct nomination. I didn't have to go into the nomination myself, but we have worked together and we continue to work together. And I will tell you, even most of the people that we work in the secretariat in my party are ladies, young women. And that's very intentional. And I intend to push in the party that we will have more and more women joining. And I have seen we have one aspirant in Mandera, in Wajir, from Umoja Summit Party, and I was very happy. I was like, this is such a milestone to have women vying in those marginalized areas, and them recognized by our party is a big progress when we come to women in politics. And 2022 has been an interesting year. I have a whole group of women aspirants in Kenya, and that group, I will tell you, I expected the women to be, you know, the women.
Timid?
I expected the women to be the women.
Okay.
But that group has become very intentional, very purposeful, because even if you post an issue that you're having, the women will come through and support. I know most of them are now watching, and I could see them telling me, we are waiting to see what you have to say about the women politics. And after you get out of there, they'll be following up. Where is the link? I missed the show. And it has become a support group for the women aspirants. We had a very interesting case in Mathare constituency where we had the Mlango Kubwa ward, where there were 2 women fighting for the UDA tickets, and one of them was actually physically assaulted. I think I sent you that, Anki. Did I send you that information? And that group took up the whole situation.
The women group?
Yeah, the women group, they took up the whole situation. They sent out the photos to the media stations, and the story was actually aired. And it went even on the Star newspaper, and it went on other media stations, and other media stations took it up so that we could see. And everybody was very supportive of this lady, and we had to even go see her and, you know, console her and talk to her so that she could not get trauma. Unlike the other days where you'd find if such a thing happened, everybody will be like, oh, wachana na yeye, huyo ni mwanamke. But the group was very supportive. And that group has been really supportive, and I've seen a lot of change when it comes to women supporting each other, as my business person has said. And it is time for women to change the narrative. And this is always my statement. We have to change the narrative. We cannot be the women
that they knew.
That they knew.
Times have changed.
It's time to change.
I don't like that terminology, because I mean, when it comes to something, okay, myself, I'm a student of business.
And then we can hear from your student.
Yes, so I want to touch on, you know, before she speaks, because politics and money has a very big question. And I think the issue of money for women and funding is because not many women are in business. And that is where the real bucks are, you know. So if women can do chama, well, and women groups are very critical. Every party, even if they'll have a strong youth league, they'll have a strong women league. You see, there's nothing like a men's league, maybe boys club, which is unfortunate because we only have one female party leader. But women do chama work together. So I think that narrative is being broken finally, because I think just one thing done should not wipe out everything. And even before this election, when it came to the gender bill, we saw even women all dressing in white, you know, the headgear. So women, when they come together, great things happen.
When women come together, great things happen. I like that you use that tagline. And I want to hear from you. We're talking about supporting the women who are, of course, you're not vying. You're not very political, but of course you're political by the fact that you will vote this woman in. You will challenge this woman to also, you know, deliver. So when we're talking about women arising, from where you sit, what would be your perspective? What are you going to say about all the women you're celebrating? You know, all the battlegrounds we are seeing. Nyinyi kama wale wana watch, you know, what would you have to say?
Thank you so much, Anki. I want to correct you by saying that I'm a bit political.
Oh, you are?
Not so much, but I am. I was a TOT when training BBI.
Okay.
I was one of the TOT in Juja. So
Amazing.
I'm a little bit in politics, and also want to talk about it like from the business angle, like my sister said about the chamas. When women come together, great things happen. Like we have women having the almost half of the population in Kenya, yeah?
Yes.
They are very many. So when they come together, and they must have a say in everything that is done. Every critical decision, women must have a say. That's why we are saying, how do we meet even the two-third gender rule? To have many women in parliament, to have many women making critical decisions, how do we have it? Like, let me go back to business. We see women coming together for chamas, yeah? They raise money. We are challenged as women even standing up and fighting for those positions. One, because we don't have the finances. It started way back in our culture. We could find that girls were not being taken to school. Girls could not inherit, yeah?
Land.
Could not inherit land, so they didn't have the resources. Like, unlike our male counterparts, we find that they have access to finances. Like,
Even information.
Yeah, even information.
So quick.
But I really want to look it down at some of them even inherit property, wealth from their parents. And like girls, you're not given anything. So you want to go to the same field, you have nothing. So we have seen women coming together, chamas, putting one coin and another together and doing great things. In the same way we would like to see women come together in politics, to do something to support our fellow women. Like right now, I would really urge women. We have women who have come up. Let us look for ways. Let us vote for our own.
Okay.
Let us forget about the way it has been said that women hate women. Although we would I would also want to talk to our women who are coming up. Let us love one another, because like when you go to a maternity ward, you would prefer to have a male nurse attend to you. Why? The male nurse doesn't know the pain of having a child, but you see them treating you better. Yeah? And like male nurse, maybe some of them have even gone through the giving birth, but they don't treat you like the male nurse would. Why? That has to change for our women leaders. Let us love one another. When I come to your office, I'm a woman. Don't treat me any less than you could treat a man. Let us change that, so that is why you find that, looking at that scenario with the male nurse, that's why you find that I don't want to vote for another woman.
Okay.
Thinking that they would treat me, they won't treat me like the way they would treat the male. So that is one problem we need to look at.
Can I interject?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Yeah, that is why I said we have to change the narrative.
Yeah.
There's a narrative, and this has been used against us all the years. When they say that women are their own enemies, this narrative has been used over and over again, and the men have taken advantage, and I'm sorry to say the community has taken advantage of this, and everybody else has taken advantage of the fact that they say women are their own enemies. And I, being a political aspirant, I have told you that we are trying, as a women politicians, we are really trying to support each other and become a pillar for each other. We know women have become psychologically traumatized, and we know, even on my own ground, I am sure the elections are not going to be easy. I am very sure. And if I was going for nominations, I shudder to think at what would have happened, because I saw the shambles that were going on that day. And I saw yesterday what was going on with the ODM nominations. And it makes a chill run down my spine. What if I was a woman aspirant on that party? It would have really maybe gone south with all the chaos that were there. And women support each other. First of all, let me tell you, the highest number of registered voters right now on our Kenyan register are women.
Good.
So brings the question, if we are the most registered voters, what happens when it comes to voting women?
The actual day?
The actual day. What happens to you voting a woman? Is it the make-believe that another woman cannot assist another woman?
Maybe what she's saying?
Yeah, is it the make-believe? We have been made or conditioned to believe that we cannot assist another woman. We have been made to believe that we cannot sit on this panel and become friends. We'll actually be jealous and fighting.
Or that we are flower girls.
Or that we are flower girls. I'm not a flower girl, Anki. I have worked hard to be where I am. I have gone to the ground. I have removed my own finances. I have struggled to even put up a billboard. Nobody ever came through for me and told me, you know what, Njeri, here is some money. But you will see other men in business supporting. Somebody will say, I'll give you 100,000 to another man to support their campaign. But me, I've not seen. I'm yet to hold a goat eating or a fundraiser to ask, because everybody will be like, wewe si uko na pesa, ambia bwana yako akupatie pesa. You know, that is the notion that when a woman gets into politics, what about those women who don't have husbands? Then what happens to them?
What about the women in the grassroots?
Yes.
In Nairobi?
Yes.
Or no children, because we do have a city.
And what about those women who are vying and they do not have a husband, they do not have children? What will happen to them? Where are they going to get the finances? Are even your parents going to support you? If you form a chama right now and you say, and women say, we are going to contribute 500, the women you know on your phone,
okay,
200 shillings for you, Anki, I'm telling you, you'll move. If I have the number of women I have on my phone right now, and they send me 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, just for my support. Do you know I have so many reflector jackets to take to those young men, Boda Boda? I saw you had a show with Boda Bodas. I know they're struggling down there. I know they're being arrested every day because they don't have the right
gear.
The right gear. They don't have the helmets. They don't have their, you know, they don't have their reflector jackets. And I know they're struggling. And some of these things are expensive for them, because you can imagine you've been given a ride for, inaitwa Skoda, for 50 bob. Then you're given 10 or 20 bob. How are you going to save up to have even a helmet?
Some of the things that I like that even as she's continuing, she's saying there are issues that women can sort that even affect men. But I like what you brought up to say women should support women. I know she interjected. Do you still want to continue? Because you can still continue, then we get to Mercy, because she was talking about the strides that have been made even by women in parliament as we're speaking. Because people have been saying, like you said, women are favored. They don't want to, you know, fight on the battleground equally. So we're going to come to that, because we are anticipating that when this is given to you, you actually work. So you were saying something when she interjected on actually supporting other women to change the narrative.
Yeah, she has just raised something very interesting, saying that how women can give 200 to her. And I was thinking, yeah, that can really work. If we can support each other, love each other to that extent. Like I can offer my 200 shillings for her, somebody else does that. She's going to have money for her campaign. And yes, she's saying that she has not seen anybody come out to support her. That are the challenges that women are going through.
Okay.
Financially, those are the things that are making them not come out. Like now, we've seen even in the 11th Parliament, we didn't really have very many women. We had like 20.7%. Yeah. Only like 16 were elected. Yeah. 5 nominated, yeah? We still didn't meet the gender role.
The two-thirds gender.
Yet the provision was there, but we still didn't meet it.
We didn't meet it.
16 out of 290.
And yet, our Honorable Njeri has said, we are the most registered voters. And why are we not voting for our own?
Can I ask that to the viewer?
Yes.
Because I know they're women, and right now...
Let's hear them. Even the men would know.
Even the men might know,
Yes,
okay?
even them, they know.
And
Even
because also from the men and from the women.
Because there's been an aspect of, if I am your husband and I'm Azimio, if I hear you DA in this house, okay? There's been that aspect as well. But let me just ask, you know, the viewer back at home, why is it that there is an irony of the high number of women registered as voters, yet we don't get women actually filling in even provisions that have been given, 2000 gender rule, you know, all these spaces? Why is there that, you know, irony of this is the number of registered voters, yet we don't have women filling these spaces? Or why then are you not voting in the woman? All right, just talk to me from back at home. We are live on Facebook. Your voice is the power. Please channel us the right direction, right? We want to hear from you. So it's a very open forum, and we have a few more minutes to go, and we want you to be more vocal than we are in studio. This is just a representation, but you're the main people. So as we get towards the August 9th, the voice of women in 2022 politics includes your voice. Talk to me, hashtag The Morning Drift. Now, we're trying to talk about, fine, they have said support the woman. And Jerry has said, well, come out and support. You have said, please, when you get to the position, treat us just the same way you treat any other man in respect. But the question has been, fine, we want to give them these positions. Do they go there in the aspect of, well, I'm just a woman? Do they really deliver? Let's hear from you, Mercy, because you seem to have some history background on people who are delivering, yet we do not get to celebrate this, achievements.
Well, for starters, I said I'm a youth advocate.
Yes.
My background is business, not law, but I do advocacy. And one thing about even law in itself, because Parliament is all about legislation,
Yes.
women, lawyers, the number of female lawyers are over 50%. So women are capable of serious work. Let's just start there.
Serious work?
Yes, serious work, professional work, because,
Okay.
we have the Public Service Commission, and then we have the Parliamentary Service Commission, which is where the members of Parliament fall under. And, it's a job like any other. Let's just start there. Politics is a career.
Oh, yes, it is.
So if women have been able to do their small businesses, if women have been able to, we even have women in construction. There's a whole association, and I'm so proud of it. And even their lawyer and chairperson is a female. So we have women in extractives, we have women in agriculture. In fact, they're the ones who move that industry, just that they're underpaid. So it's not that women don't work, it's that women do a lot of unpaid work. And it's also not recognized. We've seen it just recently that at least we had a court ruling that recognized being a stay-home mom is work, and you deserve to be catered for economically. So I think those are the things that really limit women. The unpaid work. We are the primary caregiver. So you can imagine you have a child, your husband will keep working. You also have this career of politics, and it's a demanding career. So and you're the primary caregiver. So it can be quite a challenge. We talk about actually something very important in politics is the meetings at night, because things change overnight.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Oh, yes?
Yes. Okay, so at least I've been, we recently had a FIDA Academy for women, and it's mentioned, that you will go at home, you'll go home, of course, again, security. So it's not that women don't work, it's that we have so many barriers, and I'll
We'd
mention
love
them.
to hear them.
I'll mention them, and then I'll go into what great women have done. And actually about this thing of the bias, for me, I am where I am as a youth advocate, as a policy analyst, because I was held by women. We do understand the cultural issue, and what I just call sexual harassment that women undergo a lot. It's not just in politics, it's even there in offices. Corporate, it's even there in corporate, but people maybe don't talk so much about it. So that's why I leaned a lot to women towards holding my hand, and they've held my hand, even sitting women in Parliament, even if they're from a different party. When you just tell them, I'm interested to join this field, they understand.
So
and
political
empathize.
Affiliation, if it comes to supporting other women, would not be really a hindrance.
No.
You said women from other parties, inter-party, also still support each other.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I've actually met her today, and she's from a different party, and I'm familiar with her party leader, and myself, I'm in UDA. I've even dressed in my party
we can
color
actually see
because
that.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the women that clinched tickets.
Okay.
And, so I'd say, the barriers are multiple, and that's why we're not seeing them. And then also even in media coverage, you can imagine you're being introduced as the husband of so and so. I'd even like to state, our first ladies did so well.
Okay.
You can tell they did their own initiatives. We have the First Lady, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, and then our own spouse of the Deputy President, Her Excellency Mama Rachel Ruto. You've seen what she's done, Mama Organization, and this is not, it's something she started on her own. She's a trailblazer for social entrepreneurship. She has shown what women coming together can do, because I think they are at around 800,000 women, and they're moving money of around 400 million. I was sitting with another policymaker, and we were talking about what entirely chamas in the country do.
Okay.
And it's almost coming to something like 3 billion. And then I looked at another bank, that what are they putting aside towards women in business. There are two particular banks that I know of, and I looked at the figures, 10 billion, and I was like, experts are willing to put 10 billion to women in business. They are thinking they are seeing potential. Women have so much potential in business. They've broken glass ceilings. Why are we not being entrusted with politics? Yet politics is what is going to determine policy.
And I've seen she wants to say something.
I would want to add on that. If women can do that in business, why can we not do that in politics? When you're elected as a member of county assembly, when you're elected as a woman rep, especially the position of a woman rep, and first of all, I want to correct all the women who had put up their posters or who have their posters up saying women rep. It is not women, it is woman. First of all, let's start from there. Seeing as it is that you are representing a particular position and you do not even know what that position says, that for me now...
Do they even check those posters? Let's start with who. I think they delegate, and I'm just asking because when you say that's what they know and you're correcting us, you all agree that it's woman representative, or do you beg to disagree? Because is it you're representing women? But I don't know.
On the Constitution, the position is called woman representative.
Oh,
it is not women representative.
Okay, we are all on the same page.
I think it's just English, because I think my party has faced the English bias. You know, when it comes to politics, communications is very critical. It can make or break your campaign. So I think they just wrote, because someone can say woman, I thought we are many, there is a lot of psychology. So I think they just tried to use what would feel... What
is familiar to the public?
What would feel familiar, just like Hustler Nation. It was what is familiar to Kenyans, because Kenyans keep saying, I have a side hustle, I'm hustling, and they just took the name.
But what if we shifted our attention from what the public expects to what probably should be done properly?
The Constitution has put that position as a woman representative.
Yes, and that is what is appropriate.
Not the women representative, because in English, once you say women, it means you are a representation of the women. But that position is a representation of the woman, the child.
Like MCA?
And the man. You see, okay, right now, I will not say, because I am vying for a position of a woman rep, then it means I will not look at the issues of boda boda. Okay. Most boda boda operators are men. Will I not look into those issues? Most of them are young people. Most of them are our young sons. I have a young teenage son, and I don't know, he could be owning a boda boda in the future years. Will I not look into the issues of this boda boda person? So the position is woman representative, because this woman is representing a woman representative. It's like an MC, a member of county assembly. It is like a member of parliament. That is a woman representative.
Honorable Nganga, I want to appreciate what you're doing, because let me tell you how many Kenyans have not been reading the Constitution, have no idea. When they hear woman representative, it's all about women.
But, back to what she's saying, she's talking at our country, even civic education, if you ask Kenyans... Because
now we have to educate them.
If you ask Kenyans, like I remember a particular woman representative that I feel did well, but was not re-elected 2017. And, when we went to the ground to just investigate, because we were like, she's used the NGA funds. Well, she'd done a lot. And we go to people and you ask them, so why did you not vote for her? They were mentioning things that their MCA or their governor should have done. So let's just start with that divide. And it's something that challenges women, because, especially for the woman representatives, and I think maybe that's what was contributing to them losing when they would now try to shift to member of parliament, because you're being expected to do what CDF can do, that is around 137 million, but here you are with only 7 million per constituency. So that matter of civic education, so that you even know what is responsible for your member of parliament. This road, when it's constructed, a member of parliament should not be, launching a road that the county has done. Like you should be able to distinguish. Okay. So even that's why even accountability is difficult for citizens.
You see, a woman rep is using the resources of an MP, of a member of parliament. And Anki, I want you to invite me again, because I will come with the Constitution on the duties and the legislation of an MCA. We had that teaching at the EWIP cohort training in Manzoni and in Naivasha. And actually Ms. Anderito, the ORPP, was there to teach us on the legislation of the member of county assembly, the woman. And the woman rep was a very contentious issue, because you are using the resources of a member of parliament to campaign. But when it comes to the ground, the percentage of what you're given, and that is why I was sitting down and telling the women, kindly, when you're going to vie for a woman rep seat, make sure you know what you're telling the common mwananchi. It is exactly what you're going to deliver. Don't say you're going to build a maternity, because that is not your jurisdiction. That is not what you are meant to do. Look at what you're meant to do and do as your JD. That is why the position of a woman rep looks underrepresented, and that is why most women rep, they'll be like, huyu hakuna kitu alifanya, because what you told these people you cannot achieve with the budget that you have. We have a budget of 7 million per constituency.
So if you have 5
constituencies, like like Mathare, we have
very high population.
With very high population. Like in my ward, I have a ward, and it's a road and another road. Just 4 roads, and I have around about 39,000 houses. You understand? And and you imagine the woman rep in that place, what would they do with 7 million?
And I really want to hear, I like the facial expression. It's actually coming out. She's actually thinking for a whole, millions of women in this country. And you're listening to what's going on,
Yeah,
and I want to hear your perspective, really.
This has been very educative. Honjeri, I think you're speaking up for so many women who don't know really what women rep means. Because I was also watching something on a panel. A woman was saying that this women rep, she doesn't even know what they've been doing. Like,
what is expected of her?
Yeah, what is expected of her, or what she's supposed to be doing. Like, they go out, tell people, we will do this, and yet they cannot fulfill it. They cannot perform what they are saying. I think we need civil education, like my sister is saying, to be told or to be taught what to expect from a women rep. So it has been very educative as well. We need to go out there and teach our women on what to expect.
More on the civic education. There's a particular woman rep, and I was so proud of what she did, and because of the bills she pushed. That's Honorable Joyce Lay, if you remember.
Yes.
So for her, she did a lot of civic education. It's so interesting that when she won, she got more votes than the governor, the senator, like her win with the county, and that's because she did a lot of education, sold her agenda, and I think if she decided to still run again, I think she would have still clinched, because even the kind of work she was able to do. But then again, I guess there's need to relook maybe at the budgeting, because this is CDF is a constituency and is being given on 37 million. So what about a woman rep? Like, is it that there should be more channeling of funds, or at least a woman rep should maybe then have more say in what counties do?
Are you recommending these things, or are you challenging us to recommend them to the onset? You're saying, should it be then maybe that, because we are bringing out our voice in 2022. We are seeing passage of, power. Should the next government then consider or reconsider, or what are you trying to say by
Yes,
maybe?
I think, if the political parties bill, which interestingly was changed, and it's what has come back to bite them, because no party hopping us from March 26th, and as of April 22nd, you better go independent or sit pretty with what your party decided.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's something really to look at, because at the end of the day, it's the August House that determines how funds are allocated. I think the same way that 7 million was allocated, maybe they need to relook at the figure sharing.
Okay.
And compare what is the constituency level. MCAs even have a budget of which is, I think, doing better, 25 million. 10 million. Yeah, 10 million around. 10 million for a ward. So you can imagine Nairobi is 17 constituencies. I cannot begin to imagine the number of wards. I'm sure there are around maybe 100. So you can imagine the pool of money around the MCAs, the pool of money around the MPs. So where should we put this woman rep? Should she be then maybe also getting an allocation within that MCA budgeting? So there's a lot of things to look into this perspective. And I think as we have passed the 10-year mark for the new constitution, there's a lot that we're now rethinking the number of positions, because remember back then we were debating regions versus Majimbo, and we decided we want to go the devolution way, 47 counties instead of the 8 provinces.
But Mercy, talking about the number of positions, we've just said a lot of provisions for women. We're just not taking them up.
Yeah.
Because if we start talking about we need more spaces, really, I think...
No, like in terms of, with devolution, what was so important with devolution, it came with budget.
All right.
You see, because it was president, provinces, and then your MP. But with the devolution created, you have now like Nairobi area, you have set at least 38 to 40 billion, you see. So now that's what I was saying in terms of, you know, that same, you know, this position, I think maybe they need to think a bit more, because even the MCAs, you know, we saw the car grant being granted a bit later. We saw even the ward development fund being granted a bit later. So I'm just saying that, you know, maybe for the woman representative, there is now, it's about time, you know, they need to rethink, you know, because even if the spouses of the president and deputy president have a budget for their office, so I don't know, maybe the woman representative should be taken as an, you know, somewhat executive office.
Okay.
And have,
yes. And because of time, I want us to keep, you know, moving in that pace. But now to shift to the woman representative, really, because I don't want the public thinking that's the only position a woman can handle. You know, you want to shift away from that now, and we are also looking at, you know, Martha Karua, because you're in support, right?
Yes.
You've said women should support. Yeah. But if I would ask you what your opinion is of Martha Karua's position, do you hope or do you anticipate, you know, that this time we can have a female deputy president? Because that is what political analysts have been saying. It could be an upper hand for Azimio, perhaps not. But what is your perspective, you women, today in studio in regards to that?
For me, I'm not hoping. I am 100% sure that they will make the right decision by choosing Martha Karua. Actually, that was a subject I was going to bring up, and I would have, the program will not have ended. I am in support for Martha Karua. I am in support for any woman who will be chosen, even to run for UDA. And if they choose a woman to be a running mate, that would be a plus for them. This is what I'm saying, and I've told Yankee, women were the most registered voters, and women come out to vote. For sure, you will see the many, and the long queues. It's the women that come out to vote. And now we've seen a change. The youth have also taken up voting, and they've shifted, and they're saying, oh, we want change. For those ones who are really sure they want change in their wards and in their constituency. And I am in support of a woman deputy president. But I do not want this deputy president to be a woman who is a flower girl, that they need to kick her, push her around, or they need just to get the vote. I want this person to be vocal. I want this person to be intentional about the women politics in Kenya. We have shifted, and we saw a lot of women conceding and saying, oh, you know, it's okay, let my other person go. But as she said, it's because of the finances. Like me, I'm struggling. I have school fees, I have bills, I have an office to pay, I have people to pay, I have a house help to pay. Who is pushing money to my end? So when I look at it, and a man comes and says, you know what, get out of this seat, I'll give you a nominated position, then it looks, okay, yeah, it looks easier, other than me going to hustle on the ground. And I've had so many people who came up to me and told me, you really don't have to go that way. You can actually sit back, work for the party, and have you know, the nominated position. But I want to be vocal. I want to be vocal about the people of Mgei Ward. I want to be vocal about their issues. I have been there. I was born and brought up in Mathare.
Yeah, because we're going to be coming into her campaign.
And I want to be intentional, because I have seen what has happened down there on the grassroots. The women come out to vote, but they do not have even a woman who has ever vied. So for them now, right now, they're like, oh, wow, there's a lady who is actually willing to buy. And everybody's asking, why didn't she wait to get a nomination? I don't want to wait to get a nomination. I want to go on the ballot. I want to be there. I want to tell the girl child out there that, you know what, I was born and raised in Mathare, and you can actually make it. And you don't have to sit as a flower girl and wait for the nomination. And there's a particular party, I will not mention it, for the purpose of not being controversial.
And of course, I'll request for 5 more minutes because of the time we started.
Yes. But they have, when I saw so many people, so many women were on the WhatsApp group, they were resigning, and they were saying, okay, I've considered and I've decided I will sit back and I will let my mail. And I asked why. And I was very vocal about it on the group. And I said, why are these women giving out their seats? And it's because they have been promised nominations. And you know, a nominated member of county assembly, or a nominated MP, or a nominated whatever does not have, senator does not have a lot of voice a big voice when it comes to legislation. So this person is going to be what? That is why we are being called the flower girls.
Okay.
Yes.
So today you've tried to, drip a bit of clarity around it. And I must say, I'm coming back to you, but I want to hear from her now, because you're about to close. And even as you give your last remarks on Martha Karua's position, also you can combine it with your closing remarks, because you're about to wrap up in about 3 minutes.
I'm so much in support of Martha Karua. I'm so much Azimionated.
Oh, yes?
I'm from Jubilee. Yeah, I'm from Jubilee Party, and I'm proud to say that I'm from Jubilee Party. And my question was, like the just ended primary nominations, we had my sister from UDA. I'm asking how many women made it to nomination. And from our side, Jubilee, we decided to go the consensus way. So I'm also asking how many men sat down and decided this woman is deserving. Yeah, she deserves. She's up to the task. She can take this post. And I'm talking about men sitting down and saying, we are fronting this woman. She can. She's able. She's capable. She's qualified. She can do this. I don't know how many, but I'm looking at Kiambu County. I said I come from Kiambu County. From like the 15 seats, I'm only seeing 4 women.
Okay.
4 women, don't count. I'm counting 4 including woman rep. So there are only 3. What does that tell us?
Wow.
We will still not meet the gender role,
Okay.
the 2/3 gender role. So I'm urging women, as my closing remarks, I'm
Yes.
urging women to come out in big numbers. We are the ones who are registered. We are very many registered voters. We come out in big numbers and support our fellow women. They are capable. What the men can do, women can do much better. I believe that. And we are saying we are not.
It's not just a saying.
It's not a saying.
We actually do better.
And we are not giving them because out of mercy or anything. They are qualified. They are up to the task. So let us women come out 2022 and vote for our own. We want to see change. It is possible. We can go the Suluhu way. Hassan.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
It is possible in Kenya. For the first time in Kenya, we want to see a deputy president that is a woman. So I am for Martha Karua 100%. I wish they are going to give her so that at least we Kenya can be proud. We Kenya women can be proud and say we have our own as deputy.
Okay.
So and I'm also, as I close,
Don't forget the politicians, so I'm going to have to cut some of them short. Yes.
As I close, I want to tell our women who are in Kiambu, I come from Kalimoni ward, I want to tell Wanjiko, Julian Wanjiko, congrats for your ticket, party ticket, and don't let these men cow you into giving up or not fighting.
Okay.
It is very hard, but I pray to the women that have taken the tickets in Jubilee that they're going to have the strongest shock absorbers to absorb everything that the men will throw at them. Even when they go, at times they really go personal. They'll attack your family, your children.
Oh, really?
They'll look
It
at
gets
how
there.
your children are doing.
Okay.
They'll say your children are on drugs and everything. But I want to pray that our women are going to stand strong and take it from men.
Wow, okay, what a closing remark. Wow, she actually unleashed some things that we don't get to hear, but she said this time, get the shock absorber and get running. And I want to hear from you, Mercy. I really have 2 minutes. My director is killing me.
Yes, I have 3 issues to address. So one, me personally, I'd like to congratulate all the women in UDA party, my love, the best party in Kenya for us as women and youth, very inclusive. I would like to congratulate Honorable Mbaire from my home county, Embu, who was able to clinch the ticket. That's quite a win. And also that there are many others through consensus who are selected. So I'd say, at least in my party, I know 20 members of parliament, women rep, gubernatorial, and more to come, because, you know, only the nomination process has been concluded. We are yet to hear about consensus, and I know we'll still see more women and even more nominated. So that's what I can say, at least in terms of the nomination process from my party.
Okay.
And even the other parties, I think Wiper, there's Wavinyandeti, NAC, we have Charity Ngilu. And now to the question of Martha Karua. How I know her and the trailblazer that she is, because even those I've interacted sitting in the August House, you know, they talk about her across the divide, you know, because she shattered a glass ceiling, 35 years, you know, becoming a member of parliament.
And a very vocal advocate.
And a vocal person, and that she has been consistent. She never got silenced, you know, all this time. And for me, what I can just comment, because she's on the opposite side, but what I can comment is that if they're going to bring her to the national executive arm of government, I think think she just deserves no seat less of presidency,
Okay.
based on her character and potential.
All right.
You know, and why is it already pre-decided deputy presidency? And then again, I will also bring the question of young women. You know, when it comes to public service,
Very briefly,
yes, we
Mercy,
talked
we are
of
wrapping up.
we talked of youth being under 45s. Under 45s are less than 10%. So why can we not have a 45-year-old, 40-year-old woman as deputy president in the considerations? Why are we only hearing those above 50? You know, Nairobi did it. Governor Her Excellency Anne Kananu. So those are just my personal thoughts in terms of the foray that, you know, women can get to the highest position. And I'm so proud that my party has at minimum 3 governor women.
All right, I like how you each say my party. But I'm glad that that's still a unifying factor and that we did not fight on set, you know, as has been, quote unquote. Thank you very much, Honorable Njeri, for being here. Thank you, Mercy. Yeah, for also, you know, being such a representative in these matters. You've all been very vocal, and thank you so much for also creating time out of your busy business schedule. And, you know, being vocal, besides just being in the business, you know, people have seen, you just don't see a woman in a salon or see them somewhere, a vendor who's anauza nyanya. They're very keen and alert on matters politics, having participated in BBI, etc. Such an eye-awakening, you know, moment for me. Thank you very much, ladies. And please accept the invitation. You can come back again.
Oh, thank you.
Because this is an ending. Until we get to August 9th, let's see how many women, number one, concede, accept nominations, push aside after all the shock that is thrown at them. We'll do these follow-ups in the next conversations. But for now, I'm wrapping up the big conversation, coming in with the drip and flex. I can't wait to meet this model. He's done amazing things. He's, you know, wedged through, you know, a lot of things. And his story on being a model, a high fashion model, and now a brand ambassador is something I am waiting to hear. And I hope you will be on standby as well shortly after this break. We'll be right back.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile.